Hello everyone, welcome to another rendition of XGR, our weekly X-Pound Gaming Radio. I am your host for this one, Chriz Aka The Mole, but you already knew that. Joining me is Anastasia Lazerbeam, aka the Pew Pew, aka the geeky girl.
Hey!
And joining her is the stay-at-home dad gamer, Richter the Hammer.
Hello.
Okay, so normally what we're with this little radio show, we like to go news and then catch up with games we played this week, and then we go to a topic. This week's topic is exclusives, and when companies take third-party games as exclusives and vice versa and stuff, as whether or not it's good or whether or not it's bad. So, and the pros, the cons, and stuff. So yeah, I'm just saying that for any new fans out there. So yeah, first up is the news, and I think I shall go first because why the fuck not? I know what people want to hear.
Good answer, good answer.
Yeah. Rise of Tomb Raider may not be exclusive after all. Rise of the Tomb Raider, earlier this week, people were reporting it was going to be an Xbox One exclusive. However, after the negative reactions, Phil Spencer came out and spoke about it. He spoke to, I believe it was Eurogamer, and he said, yes, the deal has a duration, the head of Xbox said. I didn't buy it, I don't own the franchise. And he said, he couldn't comment on how long the exclusive deal lasts, that's between Microsoft and Square Enix, he did compare the agreement to similar arrangements that they have with Rise, Son of Rome, and Dead Rising 3. Both of those are Xbox exclusives and are now free to head to other platforms, and that's why they're going to PC. Microsoft revealed Rise of the Tomb Raider as an Xbox exclusive at the company's Gamescom press conference yesterday, with developer Crystal Dynamics explaining that the deal would help make the franchise one of the biggest in gaming. I personally already thought it was. It's fucking Tomb Raider. And he said a lot of people felt burnt by that, especially PS4 owners. However, he mentioned he understood it, and he said, yeah, I get the reaction. I see, he said. If I'm a PlayStation person, all of a sudden I feel like the franchise is gone. But rest assured, like I said, I didn't buy the IP. I didn't buy the studio. It's not mine. Where this thing will go over time, just like Dead Rising or Rise, we'll see what happens with the game. It's up to them. So yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider is slated to come out on holiday 2015 on Xbox One. And it could be like the next year or so when it could come to PS4. Yay!
Woo!
I like that he had to apologize to people that were like, no, and it's like, I wish he'd come out and just be like, calm the hell down, people. I mean, really.
We didn't buy it. We don't own it. No.
I just like people are like, how dare it leave? Like, well then you didn't buy enough of it when they rebooted it? I don't know. Like fuck. I mean, you know what we had to do 10 years ago when that happened? We had to deal with it. Like, oh man, Grand Theft Auto, that'd be cool on an Xbox. Oh well, good thing I have a PS2. And then nowadays people are like, no, boo, company. Like, well, you weren't gonna buy it anyway because you already picked your horse, and you don't want to buy two horses, so you obviously already don't care.
Pretty good.
I've bought two horses.
Nice.
The Wii U is still a horse. It may be slow. It may not get to the finish line on time, but god damn it, it's loyal.
Maybe slow. It doesn't always get to the finish line. It has 5 legs, but you know what? It keeps going. It's got a lot of heart, and it's colorful.
It has history, damn it. Maybe it's the oldest.
It's the oldest horse.
Wow.
I still put a blanket on it and hug it, but
we may have beaten the dead horse of this metaphor. No.
Oh, that was the perfect time for the sound effect. I thought you were gonna do.
Sorry. There you go. It's the moment's past. But no, I was going to say, yeah, with that as well, one of the other things people don't realise is, like I said, Uncharted comes out at the same time on PS4. If Tomb Raider came out on PS4 at the same time as Uncharted, Sony will be up on their blogs, on games they recommend, through emails, everything. The one they're going to be promoting the most, undeniably, is going to be Uncharted, as it's their own game. This way, it'll go on Xbox. There's no Uncharted there. Boom! Yeah. It's one of a kind. It'll make more money, and then eventually it can come out on the other consoles later on. And there's no competition for it. It's a genius move, I think.
Yeah, it's actually better than if they'd just done it cross-platform. Because yeah, exactly. Like when Sony's wouldn't really advertise it, and it'll probably sell more because people are like, "Oh, it's exclusive. I can play it now." And then once the people, a week has passed and they've stopped playing Uncharted, then they can wait for Tomb Raider to come.
Yeah, and for people listening,
that might have been a little mean. I apologize.
Yeah, and for people listening to this, I will admit I don't have an Xbox One. In case you're wondering, I have a PS4 and I have a Wii U and a PS3 and stuff. But I still don't see a problem with it because if some people listening to this might say, "Oh, they're only saying that because they probably have Xbox Ones." Yeah. We don't. We don't. But
no. Well, I mean, honestly, I would want to own all of them anyway. So like, I would just play it on what it's available. I mean, not necessarily like same day. I'm not going to be like, you know what I'm going to do, and come home with an ARM with 3 systems in it. But
why not? Someone took 5 the day station for a PS4.
I know that guy's balling in the middle of wherever it was.
He was hoping to wire them all together and make a PlayStation 20. That's how it was.
He's like, I'm making a PlayStation 15. What? I failed math.
Didn't you see that commercial for the PlayStation 9? I still want that one, though.
Yeah.
I remember that.
What he probably did is he probably took them all apart, kept the disk drives, and put them all into one massive case. So it's like a PlayStation 4 with a disc changer.
That would be hilarious. And a hard drive changer. He just links them all together.
Yeah, I'd so buy that.
I have 4.5 terabytes or whatever. Or 2.5? Yeah, 2.5 terabytes.
That'd be epic.
And it only cost me $2,500.
Yeah.
Or $2,000 plus tax.
But no. Over to one of you for your little news.
I'll go.
Anyone? Okay, I'm kidding. You go, Stace.
Alright, this is my mini news. Alright, so they have a 3DS bundle pack for Super Smash Brothers, and it's fucking kick-ass. I don't know if you've seen it, but like the 3DS that comes with it when you buy the Super Smash Brothers on 3DS. It's like fucking amazing. It has a whole freaking cast lineup of like all the freaking new characters and like all the old ones, and not all of them, but like a fucking lot of them. And it looks really amazing. Like Link's on the front, Mario, Pikachu, and you have like the villager, Kirby, Yoshi, Rosalina, Mac. I'm gonna say Marth or female Marth, and because I find that child's name appropriate because they look way too much alike. And
Martha. I know it's not Martha. I want to call her that.
Martha.
Yeah, so like that's a really good cast on there. It looks so awesome, and I kind of want to buy it, even though I already have a 3DS, so I can't. But like,
is Ghost Peach on there?
You mean Emo Peach?
No, Ghost Peach, Kirby.
Kirby's on there.
I was just making a joke.
Yeah, Rosalina's on there.
I actually remember that picture.
Yeah.
I know, I wish that was the official advertisement. It's like, we have all the cool characters and Rosalina. Because I'm an ass.
Yeah, so
hey, I'd agree. I personally, I liked Galaxy. I did not like Rosalina. And I think they've overused her. It's like, come on, she wasn't that good.
Right now, it's only available in Europe, so I hope it's available in America.
Nice. But would you agree with that, Rick? Rosalina, she's basically just Space Peach.
She is. Like, with the emo haircut. I don't... I don't understand the appeal of like why her over Peach, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
She's
I
emo
feel she doesn't even fulfill Peach's role. Like, they just made her up. I feel like she was a throwaway character. Like, I feel Daisy's more unique than Rosalina, but now it's like, oh, Rosalina, yeah, she has a fucking star wand, and so
Yeah.
Don't
I
you
will
know?
say I do like Daisy. I do like Daisy.
I like Daisy. Shit, they haven't
She's
used her
emo
much.
and edgy, and all the kids love her, because she's so deeply emotionally, bankrupt.
I will say to you, Stace, based on your news, shouldn't they have done that? Shouldn't they have done that last gen? That's a last gen bundle. Because current gen is clearly 2DS.
3DS looks fucking retarded. So, no.
Have you ever seen yourself in so much of a console?
I hate you. That just brings me back to the retardo pill.
Yeah, when I said you take retardo pills, it's a brand name. Like they also do retardo gel, which you rub into your temples. But over to Rick for his little news.
All right, I wish that was a thing. Anyway, they announced that for Skylanders Trap Team, I thought this was kind of neat, that the little mini Skylanders that they gave away in the like little Frito-Lay packs or whatever, like, it's like, oh, you could mail away forms like $3 and like a proof of purchase or whatever. Those little ones, they just would follow you around in a Swap Force, but in Trap Team, they're actually going to be their own characters with their own skill trees and everything, which I think is actually kind of cool. And they show pictures of them. They're making some new ones. I think they only had like 8 or something before, maybe less. I have a couple of them, and I have 3 of them, 2 of which are not broken. Thanks, children. But they showed pictures of them, and little Spyro looks so adorable.
Nice.
It looks like a sock puppet.
Huh? I honestly, that sounds awesome. I honestly haven't seen them. I don't think we had that offer over here.
It might not have. They said they're going to start selling them in like 2 packs. So whatever the normal Skylanders price is, like I think it's like $10 over here. They're going to start selling 2 packs of them. So because they were previously mail away exclusive, so now they can actually make money off of it. Like, yeah, fine, whatever.
When you're saying that, all I'm thinking is when you're saying they're going to start selling them in 2 packs, I'm thinking what? Mm-hmm. So they're going to kill them off and then realize that their lost content suddenly generates more money than when he was alive.
Yes.
They 2-packed them. But no, that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, they look pretty neat.
Next time you're on camera or something like that. I think you just linked me to them. But
well, that's what they look like in game, so you can see the Spyro.
Nice, I'll have to check that out. That does sound pretty cool.
You wanted me to hold up the figures next time I'm on camera?
Yeah, but you don't have a camera.
I'd have to, yeah. But I think I fixed the 3rd one. I can't remember.
So yeah, linking me to them would have worked just as well. But
okay.
Yeah. My big news now. BioWare's horror action title has been revealed. Shadow Realms is an online action RPG due to hit PC later next year. Electronic Arts has announced during its Gamescom 2014 press conference. It's set in a modern fantasy world featuring magical powered heroes that wouldn't look out of place in this room, is what they said, which means I'm thinking, because based on the trailer, they're in street clothes. But Shadow Realms is a story-driven game that features dynamic co-op 4-player gameplay. The game will pit you and your party against its big bad, the Shadow Lord. And the Shadow Lord controls possessing, entrapping, and destroying, and you can either play as him or against Shadow Lord. BioWare was keen to stress that the story was at the heart of Shadow Realms. The overarching narrative and the world will be released in episodically, played out over time like a TV show. Shadow Realms will be released on PC later next year. Players can sign up for the experience for the closed beta next month on the game's official site.
I should do that even though I'm betting my computer couldn't run it.
I'm thinking my computer wouldn't run it. I've already gone and signed up on their site hoping it's the beta, because I think it says it says next month, but when I clicked on their site it said I could sign up, so I was like, okay. But
maybe the beta's next month?
Hmm.
I don't know.
That makes sense. Sign up now and then debate is next
Yeah.
debate next month. Not sign up for debate next month.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, it's all in the wording. But yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And I will admit, like I said, I was tempted to get an Xbox One, but after seeing that and knowing the Sims 4's out and stuff like that, part of me is considering next year just buying like not exactly a Steam machine, but a Steam machine because I don't want a Steam one because fuck Valve's iOS. I want Windows. I'm sorry, I do. It's more compatible. I'll go with the Alienware one, hook it up to the TV and play that way because if it's Windows, I can play The Sims and all the Origin games as well as the Steam games, which would benefit me because Old Republic, baby, I'd be back.
Nice.
But over to Pew for her big news. Really big news, really big.
Big news.
Big news. Pew.
Alright. So, awesome sauce. Walking Dead is, and the new game is going to be made by the people who made Overkill, like Payday, that made the same game. So that's going to be freaking awesome because Payday 2 was great. So Walking Dead is good, not the show, the game. So, and Walking Dead as a concept is great.
Yep.
So, like, it's just two good things put together, you know? I hope so. Hopefully, it's just going to be really awesome.
Hopefully it is really awesome. The Payday 1 and 2 games, I loved them, and I played 2 with Richter a load of times, as we've discussed in past XGRs during catch-ups.
Yep.
We like those games, and a 4-player co-op, something like that, yeah, okay, it's not exactly survival, but I can kind of see it being almost, and I know people here are probably going to cringe, but I can see it being almost like Call of Duty's zombie mode.
Yeah, I can do that.
Which, I'm sorry, Call of Duty zombie mode was pretty fun. Where you had to kill the zombies and board up the windows and stuff.
Yeah, I see it like a cross between like Payday 2 and Left 4 Dead, which would be awesome in my head.
Which means you have to survive, kill the zombies, and then surround each other while one of you saws the ATM machine.
Probably. Well, I could see like needing gas so you could escape.
Yeah, that would work. Like one of you, I could see like different tools helping you like that. Like maybe one of you can do carpentry so we can put up the boards on the windows or something, which would be great.
Oh, that would be awesome for a class. Yeah, carpenter and like a mechanic or something.
Yeah, and if it's a carpenter, when you kill him, a couple of days later he comes back.
Yes, that would be the greatest skill in the game. That's like the final skill in the tree. It's like a joke. And people are like, I don't get it. And you're like, it's a Jesus joke. And they're like, oh. You're like, wait, why is it Jesus? And you're like,
You see, Jesus, a lot of people don't know this if you read the Bible, Jesus at one point was in a little unknown band called the Carpenters.
That's exactly it.
I nailed it.
Jesus and the Carpenters sounds like an 80s show that just didn't make it.
Sounds like the Mike Tyson show.
Yes.
But no, like I said, different classes, I could totally see that. Like the carpenter to do like the building on the wall, on like the walls or construction or something, so he builds up like the borders and something. But I can totally see like an ammo smith or something who can then help you build up like a safeguard to put ammo down and stuff.
Yeah, I can see this is gonna sound terrible, but I can see like a construction worker, you know, and he fixes fixes windows and doors and stuff, or like a mechanic or electrician that can wire stuff, and maybe they would have the turret. But then this sounds like the Village people, like.
Yeah.
We have the construction worker, we have the cop, we have the Indian guy because that's racist, and then we have leather guy because I don't know.
What about the medic who chops your arm off?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. No, sorry, that's all I think when I see leather guy now.
Yes,
Slave. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm playing as Mr. Slave class.
Just like the
Where does he get that ammo? You don't want to know.
Just like the South Park RPG with his ultimate move be jumping in the air and landing on him when he's
Yes.
up his ass like he did in the show.
Oh, shit.
But no, the Walking Dead game, like I said, with that does sound pretty cool. I think they've gone to the right people because the last ones they went with, not Telltale. I'm not on about that. The last one they went with for the shooter one didn't, from what people say, didn't quite capture the heart of what makes The Walking Dead. And in my opinion, from reading the comics and stuff like that, and seeing a bit of the show, but mainly reading the comics and stuff, is Walking Dead is more about the community and the pitching together and the survival, which a 4-player co-op thing like Payday with different skills that benefit each other sort of has that feel, but would make a great action game at the same time.
Yeah, because we have a good action game. We don't have a good shooter game for Walking Dead, so it definitely has a role to fill.
Yep.
It's perfect for it. Mm-hmm.
So over to Rick for his big news. All right, so my big news this week is, was it Ed Boon? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was Ed Boon. Showed off some Kano gameplay from Mortal Kombat X. I forgot his name, sorry. And he basically showed off the new look, and he went over the 3 different combat types, because I don't know if our viewers, listeners, whatever, know. But with Mortal Kombat X, each character has 3 different like specialties, and you can pick one of those, which will slightly change how the character acts and like the moves that they have and stuff. And so they showed off Kano. He's a little older than he has been, just because this game takes place in the future. He's more cybernetic. I guess he's upgrading himself so he can live. But the 3 different ones he has, one of is Cutthroat, where he has like a little cybernetic heart on his thing, and it changes color depending on which class. And he'll like, for Cutthroat class, he'll like hit it to power up or whatever. And he has better knife skills. Like, it looked like he could throw 2 knives with it. Then he has the cybernetic tree, which gave him better laser eye attacks. So he's like Superman or Zod, and he hits the grenade. And they made Injustice, so I'm gonna I'll compare those like a lot of people. And then the third tree was Commando, which gave him like command grabs and stuff. So it looked kind of cool, the gameplay they showed, and nice to see a returning character. Although it's definitely awesome for MKX that they show, when they first were showing it, that like all the characters were new in the first like block of them. I think everyone was new. So it's kind of cool that they're actually putting in new people, but then bringing back some of the old favorites. I don't think they'll include everybody. Maybe in like Mortal Kombat X3. Sorry, Final Fantasy joke there.
Yeah, and I could see that. And they have said with this game it's supposed to play over 25 years or something like that.
Yeah.
They did mention different versions when they revealed the game, so I'm guessing that might go into what you talked about with the equipping the different special attack, which changes how he plays. Because I could totally see, like, let's say if you picked, like, say, more of the original style Kano, I could see you probably being able to use like his outfit possibly.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I really hope you can, because I want to play as Reptile, and he better be a green fucking ninja. I don't want a fucking Geico lizard. I don't want Gex from the Gex games. I just want a Reptile as the Green Ninja. Don't get me wrong, I still like the Lizard Reptile. He's always been my favourite Mortal Kombat character, but I still want him, and obviously Melina, I like him and Melina. I want him in his green fucking ninja costume. Is that so hard to ask?
Apparently, yeah. I hope they do that, at least for an alternate. Give him the old one.
Yeah, and I get that they're saying he de-evolves and stuff over time, or de-evolution as they call it, or something like that. But fair enough. But if it's meant to be 25 years, like from the beginning to the end, based on how he de-evolves, doesn't that mean he'd just be a tadpole in the next one? On this one, he'd just be like a little tiny, like sperm.
He's an egg, and he just rolls around.
Yeah, he looks like that egg from Garfield and Friends I hadn't quite had yet.
Yes, the little legs and the little inflatable ring around it.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh wait, no, that was a different guy. I do remember the egg guy. Yeah, the duck had the inflatable ring, but there was the egg.
Yeah, and the egg, the little egg, and the pig. God, that cartoon was awesome. I love that show. But now, let's go to catch up now. Take us away with your catch up, Pew.
All right. Well, I've only played one game this week, and it's Mass Effect 2, and I'm enjoying it so much. It's so much better than Mass Effect 1.
Technically, you've played 2.
Hey, what's the other one?
Mass Effect 1.
Oh well, fuck that shit.
Okay.
I played it and it sucked and it's over. Yay. So I play Mass Effect 2 now, and I got all the DLC for it in a package deal, and I'm enjoying. I'm trying out. I was gonna say Zanky, but because you got the name in my head, but Zaid is his name, and he's pretty cool. You kind of imagine like if Tachi was like really old and wasn't stuck in his house.
So someone completely different.
Sure.
All you're going with is the fact he has a bit of an accent.
Well, he really likes his stuff, and he collects a lot of stuff, and Tachi collects stuff. He has all like nicely displayed, like a collection. Like nobody else has all their stuff like displayed like that. So, like, I don't know. That kind of my Tachi can see his collections. This guy also has collections. But whatever.
Fair enough. But no, you like him too.
Yeah, it's really awesome. No Mako, yay. And I'm about to get more, and I've just barely gotten into it. You know who I really like? I missed
Miranda.
engineers, man. I love the
Oh,
engineers. They're so awesome.
they are.
And the other chick, they're cool. They are really awesome.
They are. You know who those engineers kind of remind me of?
Who?
The two like tech people on Agents of Shield.
Yeah, they're really similar.
They even have similar accents.
They do, and they're really funny. Like there was this one little conversation, whatever. They're commenting on Miranda's uniform, and I don't know what they said something, and he was like, Kenneth was like, "Oh, I love her uniform. It's super official, and it always makes me stand at attention." And I'm like, "Wow, wow, this thing's funny. Oh my god, I love them, man. They're awesome."
Fair enough.
Okay. So yeah, it's been super fun. The only thing I guess I'm not gonna say that I don't like it, but I felt it's a bit forced. I guess it's kind of get in there. Is if you go to the crew chambers, there's this other girl and guy talking about his kid that he shipped from he shipped his kid or something from there, and it's like this little side conversation you'll eventually figure out or whatever. And I felt like I don't know. I don't care about his stupid kid, but then if I didn't care, I could have just leave, but I had to hear it anyway. So
Yeah, you could have just left.
I could have just laughed, but he's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
my kid, it exists."
Curse
It's
BioWare for making the world feel real.
It's like, you know what? Your kid doesn't sound exciting at all. Your kid sounds boring. So, you know, I mean, maybe it gets more interesting afterwards, but after the first two little stories about you had a kid and then you moved him, like, yeah.
Yeah, it gets interesting later on because what you actually discover is that kid is you.
What?
Done.
And that unlocks this whole side story to do with your parents, but if you've completely ignored it, then fair enough.
Donna, no.
I'm kidding, it doesn't, because they're probably about the same age as you. I just ask questions.
Yeah, but it's super mega awesome. I love the level up systems and stuff.
Cool.
And I like the charge. It's like such an awesome cheat and how to like go really fast in faraway distances by like teleporting to your enemies. I wish they had in the last game. That could have been super like useful. That's on Vanguard class.
Ah, nice.
Okay, so that's it.
Ah, fair enough. Over to Rick.
All right. First game I played last week. I only played a little bit of it so far because I got it Monday, like late Monday, early Tuesday. But was Akiba's Trip on Vita, the action game where you fight vampires and to kill them you have to rip off their clothes so the sunlight hits them and disintegrates them.
The one thing missing from my Castlevania.
Yeah. But I was like, I'm totally down with this premise. Awesome. So I'm playing. I get to the part where I fight, and then you have to fight like two dudes in the beginning. I was like, whoa, okay. Okay, I'm going to accept this for now, but I thought it was going to be total fan service and just throw girls at you. And I'm like, okay, fine. We'll be fair here. I'll rip off a dude's pants. And so I ripped off a dude's pants and then his shirt, and then he died.
Just to make the obvious comment, you ripped off some guy's clothes, and you referenced the village people today. Is there something Rick isn't telling us? Is there something Rick do?
It's really Simon. No. Yeah, I haven't got to any girls yet,
Gale
unfortunately.
C.
Yeah, Gale. Sadly, that'll one day probably be a thing. Like, I know what'll sell. Like, what? Making fun? Okay. But, yeah, it's, so far it's kind of cool. The combat's kind of weird just because the button placement is weird. Like, it square jumps, and I keep not hitting square. Or I hit square when I'm not trying to jump, because it's like, basically, triangle, circle, and X attack the different, like, you attack high, mid, or low, because you have different like durability. So like if you want to attack their, like if they're wearing like a hat or something, you use triangle to attack up high, so you can lower the durability and pull off their hat. And one thing that's kind of cool is you get like, I don't know how serious the weapons are. I think there's some real ones like knives, but you get like fake baseball bats, and like I have like a Nerf bat, and I also got a like a a flat panel monitor for a weapon. But you get like these really goofy weapons, and you get stuff from the people. So like when I fought the guy and I beat him up, and he dropped the bat, so I picked it up, and that's like how you get equipment. You can buy it or you can get it. So like when I ripped off the dude's shirt, it like unlocked the shirt, so I can actually put that on, and it has stats and stuff. And it's so far it's pretty cool. I haven't played much of it. I'm gonna play more in the next week, but definitely pretty fun.
That sounds pretty cool.
What's the male to female ratio of vampires?
Right now it's like one girl who's on my side, and then like other dudes. So I'm pretty sure it'll change. But right now I was like, oh, this is
Pretty sure or hoping?
hoping. Well, like the evil guy was like some dude, and I'm like, oh, okay, and like I'm fine with this. And then the girl came in, I'm like, oh yeah, it's in the intro. I swear he like, well, also the girl's on your side from the standpoint of the game is an idiot because she's wearing like a sundress. And I'm like, well, okay, that counts as like an outfit, but at the same time, you can't like pull the pants off of it. I mean, if they just pull off the dress, you're dead. Like her arms are exposed and she's not wearing like pants. I'm like, you're one armor piece away from being dead. Like you're not very good at this. Like if you're gonna be on my side, maybe wear a little bit more, just so you don't die.
You put in a burger.
But the other game I played was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the 360, the one based off the Nickelodeon cartoon.
Ooh, I was actually curious about that because I've been meaning to pick that up on Wii.
Yeah, it's because Redbox. I almost mentioned this for news, but from the 10th to the 16th in the U.S., Redbox is doing their free game first day rental thing. So I saw that was there, and I was like, oh, I can play that with my son. So got that for day and a half or whatever for free, and it was pretty fun. Definitely unpolished. Like I kept getting stuck in the environment, like in weird stuff, and like sometimes you're like fighting a guy, and let's say like something falls at your feet, you like can't walk over it or whatever. So like you're like, why aren't I moving forward? Oh, there's a guy at my feet, and it can get kind of jumbled. But pretty fun, but pretty short. I think we had beaten it co-op in it was like 2.5 hours to just get through all the stages, and we had all but 2 of the collectibles. If it's worth a rental though, I don't regret renting it at all. It was pretty fun, definitely fun co-op. It's not still, like I said, it's unpolished, so it's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool because it had a lot of throwbacks to the old, like the arcade game. Like the health bar looks the same, and I don't remember which game this was. I believe it was the 3rd one on NES where you could throw guys at the screen. Like you fought a boss where I think it was Krang, and you had to damage him by doing that.
Wasn't that Turtles in Time?
Yeah, it might have been that one. Was that the 2nd one then, or the 3rd?
I can't remember which one. I just remember you could throw them and they get and splat like into the screen like the foot soldiers would.
And they brought that back, which is really cool, and it's funny, but the problem is it covers up part of the screen, so it's kind of annoying if you do it a lot. But it's cool that they included that in the game for no other reason I saw other than an old game did that, and it was kind of cool that they brought it back, because there was there's an achievement for it, which we got on accident. I didn't know there was one, but my son and I were like throwing it at the screen. But like it doesn't, like at least in that game, in Turtles in Time, there was a boss you had to damage like that. There's nothing like that here. It's just goofy, and you just throw them on the screen, and they like and slide down. It's kind of cool. But
nice.
Although I had to like and the audio quality is either okay or complete shit. I will warn you. Like some of the lines, just the recording sounds bad. Like the quality of the audio file, it's just, I'm like, what the hell? But
they phoned it in.
It literally sounds like that. It's got like that quality, like it was really low and they turned it up, so it's not like staticky, but I don't know how to explain it, but like if you have a really quiet thing and you turn it up, you hear like that background noise.
Yep.
Or it sounds like the speaker can't make it the volume that loud. It's like that. Just ran it like even in the middle, so Shredder will be like, it's like, oh, you were lucky today, Turtles. And then it just like his next line is terrible. It's not even like a different scene. You're like, what is going on here? But pretty fun. I would say if it's worth playing, especially if you can rent it or if it's cheap. But I don't think I would buy it, especially not. Didn't it come out at 60? Or maybe it was like a 40 game.
I don't know. I thought it came out like the budget game release.
Yeah, that might be worth it. I don't know. It was kind of fun though, especially if you have someone to play. Like you would probably enjoy playing it with your nephew. I would say that. And he might love it because my son loved it. He went to it like after we beat it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play something else, and he's like, okay. I'm like, hey, you want to play it in your room? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he played it for a couple more hours. So
Nice.
Well, that's what I played this week.
Nice. I that game. I like that. I almost bought it when it first came out on Wii.
Yeah.
I just didn't for some reason. Mainly because the only access I had was the Wii, and I'll be honest, because the Wii U doesn't have GameCube adapters and shit, I'd be playing with either the Wii remote turned sideways, which just always feels odd to me.
Yeah. Oh.
But I do want that game. But I've played 2 games this week. Woo! First one I played, Mass Effect 3. Pleasantly surprised by it. I'd played through a lot of it before and I got bored and just stopped because it just felt not as good as 2 to me personally. But then when I started to play through it second time after I've played through 1 and 2 in such a short span, there's so many what's the word of it? Like throwbacks, Rick, to the other games.
Right.
That it makes you feel like, okay, now I care about this scene. Like, for example, last time I played, Jack died on my ship.
Mm-hmm.
This time round, she's back with like a ponytail and like a little bit of a weird haircut. And she's now in charge of those kids you saved from the Cerberus lab. And I'm like, that makes sense. I kind of like this now. She's mellowed out. I like this. And just loads of stuff like that. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I also bought the Citadel DLC, which is probably the greatest thing ever created by anyone. You get an apartment. And then you go for a meal with Joker. He calls you out to go and eat sushi at the restaurant nearby. So you go and eat sushi with Joker. When you're eating it, this woman comes over to you and goes, "Commander Shepard, it's urgent." And you're like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "Someone's trying to kill you." To which you and Joker look at each other and just look back and go, "We kind of already know this." And they're like, "No, we don't mean Cerberus, and we don't mean Cerberus, and we don't mean the Reapers. We mean something new." And you're like, "Oh, okay." And then suddenly they burst in the restaurant, and because you're in like a cocktail dress type thing, not if you're a guy, and a guy are probably in a tuxedo or something.
Whoa.
But I was in a cocktail dress as my female shepherd.
The gay LC, what was it?
Yeah. And as a result, they gave me this new pistol with a silencer on it. So you had to do a bit of stealth of like you'd hide. Then when you see the enemies, jump up and snipe and like take them out with a headshot, which is silent, so the others wouldn't detect you and shoot you because you didn't have your armor on. Then she blows a hole in when Shepard manages to get herself to blow a hole in the floor and goes rolling through, and it's all about that. Then as you're going through, you meet up with people like Rex from the first game, who is fucking hilarious in this game. Because he's a lot more arrogant than he used to be.
He can get more arrogant?
He jumps on top of a flying bus, smashes through it, knocks everyone the fuck out, and then says, "See, this is what Krogans can do." and you're like, "Oh, hi, Rex." He's like, "I'm saving you again, just like old times." He also has a new catchphrase, or not an old catchphrase, but one of his catchphrases. I think it was in the first one when he said it, but they overdid it on this one to the point of being ridiculous. And therefore hilarious. Every time he punches someone, I hear him scream out, "Not today, princess." I'm like, wow. And then later on, you find out who's behind it. Spoiler, it's a clone. Commander Shepard has been cloned, Rick.
Uh-huh.
And the clones seem to be
Well, wasn't
wearing
that the basis
armor.
of 2?
No, this is this one. It says, because you were brought back in the second one.
Uh-huh.
They said the elusive man brought you back using yourself, so you were actually you in the second one. But however, what if you got injured? What if you needed a spare parts? That's why he kept me in a lab for spare parts. And you look at her, and she's wearing the armor that I swear was the armor I was wearing in Mass Effect 1.
Nice.
And the clone takes your handprint, takes away your Spectre shit, steals the Normandy and shit, just goes away. And there's just so many throwback jokes within that part of the mission alone. Of like, you split up into teams. Since I have the Prothean DLC, he goes off on his own in what he calls what we call team Hammerhead, or he just refuses to say that. So he's like, no, it's Team Prothean. But then the authors go, okay, Shepard, who are you gonna pick? And you go, what do you mean? We're doing this together. And they go, yeah, you always say we're going to do this together, but then you only ever take 2 of us. And the rest of us are just sort of there. So which 2 are you bringing with you? And you see Rex go, and then a few of the other ones go, like, take me. And there's Ashley, I never get picked for this. So I chose my 2, and then they were like, aw. And then you're going through the mission again, and they've named their team Team Mako.
Nice.
And Liara, I had Liara with me, and who's the other one I had with me? It was one of the new characters. I had one of the new ones with me, or one of the ones from the second game. And they go, "What the hell?" They go, "What the hell's a Mako?" And Liara goes, "That's something we could use right about now." When you get kidnapped, and when you get locked in this like storage chest, and they are always freaking the fuck out. As Shepard goes, the clone just said, "See you later," or like that. Do I really sound like that? And Rex is like, "You've always sounded that way to me." But I thought I was more confident. And I was like, "Why aren't you two freaking out?" And Rex is like, "Yeah, come to think about it, didn't we used to win situations like this?" Which is hilarious. But when you do all that, and then you have another mission afterwards where you have to throw a party in the brand new apartment they've given you. And you choose who comes. The party is just downright fucking hilarious with some of the stuff. Like, for example, there's an argument between... what's his name? Between James and Liara of which is the better Normandy. Liara really loved Normandy 1 because it represented the unity between the Quarians and the humans, and how that's what the galaxy needed to make peace. Whereas James is like, I like the second one. It still represents that, but it's got more firepower. And you see them like arguing between them, and then you get to pick which one. And there's no renegade, paragon, or experience points. You just get to choose which is your favorite Normandy, which is kind of funny. Then you sit down and Rex and Grunt are there. One of the scenes with Rex and Grunt sat down together, because you played the second one, Rick. You know Grunt has the same voice as Rex.
Mm-hmm.
You sit down, and Grunt looks and goes, "Shepard," and you go, "Grunt." And you look back and there's Rex, "Shepard," and you go, "Rex." And then Grunt looks here, "Shepard." Then Rex looks at Rex, "Shepard." And then it's just Shepard, Shepard. And then they start to play it up more by going, "Shepard, Shepard, Shepard," and then you just get up and leave. As they start going, "Shepard, Shepard."
Nice.
Your new apartment, Garrus is there, and he's like, this place does look nice, but question, someone just recently tried to kill you, right? And you're like, yeah. Is it really best to have an apartment with massive windows? I mean, I don't trust the perimeter of this thing. I mean, later on, Garrus gets pissed, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts to go, "Hey, Shepard, yeah? Do you need anything calibrating?" Calibrating. And he goes, "I say that word a lot. Calibrating." And he goes, "But in my defense, I don't say it half as much as Liara says, 'by the goddess.'" I'm like, what the hell? In that same DLC as well, I got drunk, woke up next to someone who, yeah, as people know, if you've been listening to the last couple of weeks, I dated Liara. Third game, Liara's sort of doing a shadow broker thing. She's hardly speaking to me about us. And I gave in to temptation, and I dated, what's her name? I dated Trina, and basically, or Trainer, whatever she's called. And basically, during the DLC, I got drunk and wound up in bed next to her and stuff. But as a result of this DLC, Rick, you get because I say Rick because I already told Stacey about it the other day, but you get a casino, an arcade, and a battle arena, which adds like the multiplayer gameplay, but single with any character you want to pick. Like, you can pick Rex and Grunt together if you want to and stuff, and go through shooting stuff, which is fun, but it's done like a arcade thing, so there's high scores, which is funny, because all the high scores in the system are all the highest score in every game is wow, what's her name? Aria from Mass Effect 2, who's in the third one. Turns out she's a massive gamer and has set all the high scores on everything. But the DLC adds so much of that stuff. Like, I'm in a scene, Rick, with Trina, where she mentions in the third game she likes to play space chess, but you never really see her.
All right.
You actually go to one of her chess mats. The screen goes fucking black bars and just shows the eyes, like an anime.
Right.
As this Asari walks in, she's like, Trainer. And then it cuts to her and she says the Asari's name. And then it goes normal. She goes, yeah, she turns out to be my rival. She's my rival. I mean, as they're playing, you get to pick an option. And since I was dating her at the time, I chose this option. And if the bars go dead black, show my eyes narrow, as my shepherd then goes, remember, Trainer, my shower and bed are for winners. Which encourages her to win. And I'm like, none of this DLC fits the theme of the dark and depressionness of Mass Effect. In fact, this whole thing kind of feels like, for lack of a better term, especially if you play it, during Mass Effect 3 when you're supposed to, it feels like a filler arc of an anime. And that's why it's so fucking wonderful. It's like the greatest thing ever. Like I said, there's just so many throwbacks with different stuff you can do. But getting the apartment alone, oh my god, it's given me what it added to one of the most emotional scenes I've had in Mass Effect. I had the scene where Thane dies. Where Thane, he's in a hospital bed and you have to watch him die as you read his last prayer to him, and it turns out the prayer itself was about you because he's already made peace. He just wanted you to be happy and know that you've helped him. But but when you got the DLC, which this is really sad and actually real feels like, if that makes sense, you go there and you've got the TV, the big TV. You have video messages. You press and you click the first one, it's Thane. He's like, Commander Shepard, it's Thane. I'm getting a little worse. I don't know how many days I've got left. Please contact me. Day 2, Commander Shepard, I realized that the communication didn't go through. I don't blame you. I'm on a restricted access here based on my past. But hopefully you get this. Shepard, I need to speak to you. Then it cuts to the third one, and he's really fucking bad. Like, he has the eyes go black, and it shows he do like the snapping disease where he just talks randomly. And then he cuts back, and he's talking to you, and he's used a fake name to try and get hold of you. And it's like, that's kind of sad that he spent so long just trying to get hold of me. It adds to the, he died. And as well as that, you can have a funeral for him at your house. Now you got an apartment. You can have a funeral. And his son comes on. You actually say your last prayers for him and talk about how he's found redemption and stuff. And all that's brilliant. Nice. The apartment and that stuff. The DLC has added so much to it. And like I said, I don't mind the filler stuff because while the Mass Effect 3 is supposed to be really dark, I don't mind the comical stuff at the same time because it doesn't take away that the darkness is dark. It just lets you have a little fun bit here and now, which is all about shore leave and stuff. But yeah, I played that. The other game I played this week, which Rick will be happy because I can finally answer one of his questions about it. Castlevania Mirrors of Fate HD. Turns out 1 year before the first game, he did have a baby. He didn't know it. because the Order of Light take Trevor Belmont away. Then eventually Trevor has a son called Simon Belmont, and that's who you play out at the beginning of this game, and he's fucking awesome.
Okay.
He's got like red hair, he's Scottish, he got like a Craven style outfit. Like Craven the Hunter style outfit, and he's got like the whip, but while he's got the whip, his whip isn't as powerful as his dad's, which I love. Because it would have been the easiest thing on the world to just make him exactly like Gabriel. They didn't. He fights all new people, and eventually he manages to kill this bad guy and take this item, but when he attaches it to his whip, it allows him to do the pulling and the swinging part, and it feels sort of like, for lack of a better term, I know Marcus uses this one, it feels like the Metroidvania one, so people always say Metroidvania, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
That style, it feels like that, but added with the God of War style of Lords of Shadow, because you got the same moves in combat you can do, which it's a really interesting mix. I kind of like that. I enjoy trying to find all the secret rooms and stuff, which it's kind of fun. And like the story's cool, and Simon Belmont's fucking badass in this. I believe later on I get to play as other people, but I'm not entirely sure. But I'm still curious what the hell happened to Trevor. Because Simon's story, he talks about his parents, Trevor Belmont and whoever Trevor's wife was. And he mentioned the demon Dracula that he's hunting was responsible for their deaths. And I kind of like that because they tied it together with the events of the first game and stuff well. And it basically means, as a result, the Belmonts and Dracula are still as linked as they were in the original series, if that makes sense. But with a slightly more personal connection. I don't know if that works or not.
Well, maybe what happens to him is in Lord of Shadow 2.
It might be in Lord of Shadow 2, but I doubt it because I believe you play as Trevor in this game. And Lord of Shadow 2 you play as Dracula in the future, but I mean, well, now, we're present, and then go back to time. But I'm thinking you'll get to see what happens to Trevor later, because I believe you're meant to be able to play as multiple characters in this. I'm still pretty early. I'm still playing as Simon, but it's pretty cool. Like, they've added some new weapons, too. Like, Dracula's Gabriel throws throwing knives at people. Simon Belmont pulls out a fucking axe and chucks it in their fucking head as his throwing move. And I'm like, that's kind of awesome. They've made it good. Gabriel, so far at least in the game, does not speak. And I think the reason he doesn't speak is they didn't get. It looks like they didn't get Robert Carlyle back to do the voice for the handheld game, which makes sense because handhelds rarely have all the original cast back.
Yeah.
And he's also busy too, filming like Once Upon a Time and stuff. So it stands to reason he might not have been it. So instead, when you see Gabriel, he doesn't speak. He's more like a silent warrior, and it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, instead of replacing him with a shitty voice, they've kept him silent so you know what he sounds like. But the other people do talk, and there's been some bosses, like, I defeated a couple of bosses. Like, I defeated this weird, like, thing that looked like The Undertaker wearing a big, like, white crow mask.
Okay.
Which, when I defeated him, his death was fucking hilarious. He comes in with like this green magical torch, and wherever he shines it, his dogs will attack you and stuff, so he keeps using that to attack you. At the end, when you beat him, you knock him to the floor, you grab his lantern and you smash it type thing. And then you walk off. He then looks up and goes and summons his dogs to run by his side. Think Lion King Scar. Only with actually seeing it. They actually just rip him a fucking part because they're no longer bound by him, so they're sick of being controlled. I'm like, I like that. But yeah, Castlevania mirrors of Fate HD. I've seen some people don't like this game, which is fair enough. I personally am enjoying it. I kind of like it. And I'm looking forward to playing Lord of Shadow 2 after I've beat this, but it's pretty fun. So yeah, that's the end of catch-up.
Yay.
Yay! Which now that'll take us to the topic or discussion. And this week it's the exclusive deals that people make with third-party companies. So, like for example, I don't know, Legend of Zelda being exclusive to Nintendo doesn't count because that's a Nintendo property, or God of War doesn't count, or something like that. But say like what's happened in the news with Tomb Raider would count, just in case
Or
people
like,
listening were wondering.
or like Grand Theft Auto for a while.
Yeah.
Like back on PS2.
Yeah. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto would work 'cause that was like a third-party-ish one.
Yeah.
But
It was third party and it was exclusive for a while.
yeah, so we're here to talk about the pros and cons. Like, the pros, I think, is a lot of times they choose a system that they know their brand will sell on,
Yeah.
and it's not like they go to people, because people are always under this misconception of, oh, people are under the misconception they just turn around and said, oh, like, I don't know, let's say Grand Theft Auto is now to go on Xbox, it's exclusive. People be under the impression Rockstar just turned and said, fuck for Sony.
Yeah.
They didn't. What they did is, chances are, they got money off whichever company they go exclusive to, which can help fund their games for smaller projects, like Rise of the Tomb Raider, which didn't quite make it originally. Didn't, like they said, it was a little disappointing in terms of sales.
Yeah.
And also, they don't want to put it against Uncharted on PS4, because which one are people on PS4 going to buy? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd buy Tomb Raider personally. I don't like Uncharted, but we know which one Sony's going to market like fuck.
Yeah.
The Xbox decision made sense. Kingdom Hearts, Square Enix, they put it on the Sony system, and they put it on the PS2 and stuff at the time, because it was the system that sold well worldwide, but also had a large Japanese market, which is what they go for with their Final Fantasies and stuff. So they could get the Disney audience for the West and get the Square Enix audience in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom Hearts on PS2 and PS3 and stuff makes sense.
They also had a buttload of those on the 3DS.
Yeah, no one knows why the PSP won, but other than that,
yeah. The handheld, the handhelds have been on various stuff like Game Boy and stuff, but the handhelds are rarely included in the exclusive deals anyway with stuff like you can get game exclusive to Xbox, and sometimes they have a DS version of the game because it's not in competition.
Yeah. Plus, usually those suck.
Yeah, but what do you think? What do you guys think about pros and cons?
I think it's good. I mean, definitely helps when you have like a system seller, for sure. I mean, and like, understand that they gotta make money and profits, and just to fund these projects, other projects, DLCs or updates and stuff, which is cool. And they have to draw you in to hey, I want you to buy this console, I want you to buy that console, or whatever. And it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, everybody's always oh, I can't believe you're doing that, greedy bastard. You won't share your product with everybody. Well, you kinda they don't have to.
Yeah, it's like Sega making Sonic exclusive a lot recently to the Wii U. Makes sense because I'm sorry, Sonic sells the most on Nintendo systems, and it does on PlayStation and Xbox One, which in itself, saying Sonic sells most on Nintendo kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I don't know why, but still.
Because you lived the original console wars.
I did. I'm a veteran. Where's my statue?
That's
World War
right.
II? Where will World War II people get? Where's the console war people?
Where's Stacey, what was that game you played? Valiant Hearts, right? Where's our Valiant Hearts game?
There you go.
Where's our Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor?
Valiant D-pads. the great console war.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, the Japanese decided to do a sneak attack, and it showed and then they just pulled the cloth off and revealed PS1. And you're like, wait, no, you're overhyping this. in an evil way. But yeah, like I said, sometimes it works. Like, for example, sometimes the companies don't need it though. Like, I honestly don't see why EA felt the need, with how much money they always make off sports games and shit, to make, say, Titanfall exclusive to Xbox One. Makes sense with shooters sell most there, but it would have sold on PS4, and they would have got probably as much money.
I'm assuming for that it's Microsoft paid them. Because they were like, that'll sell our system.
My guess is it's because of their exclusive deal, which is which actually has come back and helped them, because now you've got the EA access on Xbox One.
Yeah.
Which I totally love how that works. Did you see how that functions recently, Rick? FYI, which is slightly off topic.
I've seen a lot of it. What particular thing are you asking about?
Oh, because when we were talking about it last week, this is just as an update, we thought it was going to be like a streaming like Netflix.
Oh, yeah, you download them, right?
Yeah, they've now revealed you download them and you have them for the time, so it's basically PlayStation Plus for EA games. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Admittedly, part of me thinks you have to download Xbox One games. They're the size of, with them and PS4 games, like 42 gigabytes, some of them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Enjoy wasting the next 3 days waiting for the game.
Just on a side note for that, I've heard people recommend for Wolfenstein on Xbox One because it's like a 50 gig download. People are like, either 7-day rent it at GameStop or like go to Redbox and rent the Xbox One version and install it on your hard drive. And then when you buy the digital version, it'll use that install because it's the actual disc. So it'll check it that, oh, he owns it, and then you don't have to actually download it. And I'm like, I like that. It's sad that you have to do that, because otherwise, like, yeah, it'll be like 3 days of you just staring at the screen like, it'd be cool to play that game.
Yeah, that'd be great. That does sound like a great benefit of installing, being able to install it first with the discs and stuff. That's kind of cool. It'd be cool if EA started to release that. Release like a collection, which I understand why they won't because of piracy, but you can release a collection of, say, Battlefield to, say, like all the games that are on there in like a little small collection for cheaper than what they normally do, because you can't use them unless you're using their access.
That'd be kind of cool.
The cons I can see is the obvious one of some people complain because not every system has every game.
Yeah.
And people like, let's say like Grand Theft Auto, like when we mentioned that, everyone wants to play Grand Theft Auto.
Not me.
Even PC gamers want to play Grand Theft Auto. They may have turned around and said, boo, 3D Grand Theft Auto, boo, it's on consoles, it should be coming to PC. But we all know the second it went to PC, they dusted off their Cheeto-stained hands, clapped them together, stood up in their parents' basement and cheered, hurrah!
I love that description. It was amazing.
Hurrah! This is better than sex, I suspect.
Oh my god.
It seems like I'm overly harsh to PC gamers. If people are listening to this, it's just a joke. Don't worry about that. I'm just playing up their stereotype. Like every now and again, we'll also play up the thing where they do the master race stuff.
Yeah, that just drives me crazy.
Because like I've said before now, I don't see a reason, which I mentioned the other night, I don't see a reason to look down your nose at someone for playing on a different system. It's like Richter, for example, has a Vita.
I know.
He enjoys
One of the few, the proud.
The few, the proud, the brave. Richter has a Vita, which, saying Richter has a Vita sounds like an STD. Richter has a PlayStation Vita, that sounds better. I don't know why saying Richter has Vita sounds like a disease to me, but Richter has a Vita. He enjoys it. He just talks about it in catch-up. More power to him. I may not be interested in handheld gaming, but like Stacey has a 3DS. More power to her. Same thing. It's like people with Xbox One and stuff. Hell, it's like people with PC when they're playing their games. I don't have a problem with them playing their games. I don't see a reason why they're like, wait, you're playing the games on something that's not our PC? Boo. It's like, fuck off. I paid for this. I'm going to enjoy it. Who the fuck are you to talk about that? That's like saying, you wouldn't do that with anything else. Like, if they're walking to work, you wouldn't say, oh, You're using legs? Walking peasants, where's your car? You don't do that. Well, Richter does kindly stop his car and do that all the time.
There are people that do that with cars, though, over here. It's like, oh, you're driving a Chrysler, not a Ford, idiot. And you're like, who cares? It gets you from one place to the other. What? I don't care what symbol's on the front.
You have a Prius, don't you?
No, I don't, actually.
Oh, for God's sake.
Those are expensive, dude. But they get good mileage, though.
Yeah, I do see people do that with cars, which I will admit, the best part with cars is when people talk about the best. They're like, okay, I mean, you like the brand or you like the car, cool, but don't then turn around and look at someone else and say, you're driving that. Well, no, boo, you don't deserve the road. It's like, fuck off.
I don't have a car, so if you gave me a shit box that freaking drives from A to B, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. I also put it out there I'm going to put it out there on the line. I'm going to put it out there that basically consoles, PCs, and handhelds are a symbiotic relationship. Consoles help developers with the funding of some of the games people buy on PC on, say, Steam summer sales, but PC helps to make those games in the first place. That's what the developers use. And also PC may help in some ways. Handhelds help. Let's say, I'm trying to think of a company, let's say Square Enix. If they've made Final Fantasy Tactics on DS, let's just say, I don't know if it's on DS, but let's say they made it on DS or Vita or something, and that makes money, Square Enix is making money. If they've making a game on, say, I don't know, Tomb Raider on Xbox One, it's making Square Enix money. Same thing with Kingdom Hearts. When you go to the PC, same thing with Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. The benefits that developer gets more money, everyone gets more games, everyone should be happy.
Should be.
Unless I'm thinking of that wrong.
No.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure if Richter was like, yeah, should be, but fuck those PC games.
Well, it's one of those things of like where, well, no, just their attitude. Like, I actually don't like. It's like any people that are like overly zealous about something. It's like, okay, calm down. That's great for you, but don't try to convert me. I'm fine how I am. But I think that seriously, as if you're like a person that plays games, a gamer, if you will, and someone else does, you should be like, oh, that's cool that we enjoy something similar. I don't see why you'd just be like, oh, wait, you like that system? No, we're not going to talk. Like, really? Shouldn't you just be happy that someone is enjoying something like you do? I don't get that. That whole mentality of like, nah, fuck them.
Yeah, I completely agree. Unless it's on iOS, in which case, go kill yourself. No, I'm kidding. iOS, because some iOS games are pretty good too. I will give props to iOS right now, which not a lot of people do. Like, I played recently that Saturday Morning RPG, which was started as an iOS game. That's fun as fuck. Hell, Angry Birds, like it or love it, has become as big of a recognizable brand nowadays as Mario or Master Chief.
Yeah.
Or something, one of Sony's brand, I don't know, Kratos. I kind of wish Sackboy was the face of PlayStation, but they never use him that way. It's always fucking Kratos or Sweet Tooth.
I feel like 20 years ago he would have been. I think he just came too late.
I have to. I'm assuming that's not how you meant that. He came too late. The opposite of Jim's problem. As Stacy can vouch for. But back to the topic of exclusives, which I realised that was slight sidetrack with a, I don't know, tangent, soapbox. I don't know what you'd call it, but it was something that needed to be said because it keeps getting raised all the time. Because with these exclusive things, like we mentioned with the Tomb Raider one, people were like, "Fuck Ubisoft, fuck Xbox, how dare they get exclusive?" The second they thought like Diablo was going to be exclusive for PS4 out of the two, they were like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Or Hulk being exclusive on PlayStation for 30 days, cool.
Well, like, even though I don't agree with their position, I understand why people act like that when they've, as I don't know if I said this during the yeah, I think I said it during the podcast, but they've chosen their horse and they're gonna stick with it. And
You did. That was
okay, yeah.
one at the beginning with the Wii U old horse jokes.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, did I say that during the actual recording or before? But yeah, it's like they're like, oh, I'm sticking with PS4 this generation. Like, okay, but like nowadays, yeah, I know it's a different world from 10 years ago, but you can't always expect that they'll put every game you want to play on the system you chose. That's just what happens. Sometimes, it gets on another, so that's why eventually you might get the other system. There are people that like hate Xbox One, but in like 8 years or something, when it's like $100 and comes with a game and all the games you want are like under $10 used, like even you could probably save up enough money. It'll probably be less of a thing. And I understand not being able to afford them, so you'd be annoyed that you picked one and then what something you want to play isn't. But A, that's what friends are for, and B, if you just are patient, you'll probably be able to afford one, or you can buy one for cheap. And if you're really hardcore, like of one side, you can hide it or something if you need to feel better, and you're like, I don't want my friends to see this Xbox One. Like you could buy one when it's cheap and buy the 4 or 5 games or whatever that are exclusive that you wanted for dirt cheap, and pow, you're good. Like you can play those and then you're fine. And
I don't know why I love the mental image of someone in like a sex dungeon style living room going, oh crap, I've got company, and they only hide the Xbox.
They just shove it in the back, put stuff in front of it. They print out a picture of a PS4 and like put that the little piece of paper in front of it, so it looks like they have 2 PS4s. Why don't we play that one? No, that's my one for multiplayer only. But there's like 4 of us here. I meant like online. We can't play it. It's my little
plays Japanese.
You don't have It's my brother's. You don't have a brother.
Yeah, which I just like I said, I love the idea of that, of the sex dungeon, and they only hide the Xbox, but they're okay with the sex toys and everything else. It's like, no,
it's like a blow-up doll sitting on the couch, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Just scrambling to hide an Xbox game and controller. Or like they come in and he sees the controller on the couch, and it's like, and it's like one of those like sitcom things where he's awkwardly trying to hide it and like sit in front of it and stuff.
Puts a hat on and pretends to
yeah. Oh, why isn't that a thing?
Yeah. But no, it's a case of, like you said, it's a case of I don't really see. I understand being annoyed. Like I was disappointed that I wouldn't be able to buy the new Tomb Raider, because I love Tomb Raider, and I won't be able to buy Rise of the Tomb Raider, where she's actually Tomb Raiding, unlike the other one. But so I'm looking forward to that. However, I'm looking forward to getting that. However, the fact that I can't, I'm not going to say fuck Square Enix or fuck Microsoft, because it's business. At the end of the day, back on the days of the SNES and SNES and Mega Drive or Genesis, it used to be the same thing. Like one version would get Street Fighter Champions or something, and one would get Street Fighter Turbo or vice versa, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There'd be like different versions of the game. Well, one would have Power Rangers, the fighting game. One would have to beat 'em up. Or sometimes you'd get games that didn't even come out on the SNES but came out on the Mega Drive, or vice versa. And it's like, just don't hate the companies for doing that, because at the end of the day, they're just trying to. If a company could put it on PS4 and Xbox One and Wii U and PC and know it's going to make them the same amount of money on each system, they do it. They want money.
Yeah.
They're not going to turn around and say, you know what'd be funny? What's that? Let's just troll the PS4 community. Let's just really piss them off. And then, in a couple of months' time, when we show off Kingdom Hearts 3, watch them kiss at our feet and say, oh, we're so sorry, Square Enix. Please forgive us, our masters and lords and saviors. I kind of like the idea of that's what they're thinking, but no, I don't think like that. They're not trying to hurt the little guy. They're just trying to do their jobs and make money and make profit. Sometimes the exclusive stuff can be bad. Like one of the ones that annoys me is the exclusive DLC agreements. That one annoys me. It doesn't make me angry enough to say, again, fuck the companies. It just annoys me a bit, because it's like, you show a trailer then suddenly for all the DLC, it's like, cool, and then it's like, oh, our version of the game doesn't get that yet. Because then you kind of feel like you've got an out-of-date game with some of them, like Call of Duty when they do it. And I know every year Call of Duty's DLC exclusive to Xbox first for like 2 months or 6 months or so when it comes on PS3 or PS4. But I'm okay with it. I've learned to deal with it, but it's still one of those things that one slightly annoys me. But since we're talking about exclusives, I want Richter to take us away with this one because I know Richter doesn't like this one.
Mm-hmm.
What about pre-order bonuses exclusive to various different stores and each one has a different one?
That is really annoying. I understand why they do it, but I dislike it. Because I think I said this last time of like eventually they'll probably sell it and then you buy all of it, so it was pointless to do it in the first place.
Yeah, and the worst is when they sell all of it in a pack, like you mentioned before now.
Yeah.
And if they sell it in a pack, they should sort of read that you've got like a third of the pack, then knock a third of the price off.
Yeah. Well, also, they did this with one of the Tales games, but they actually had exclusive DLC, and I don't know why it stayed exclusive. Like you only got it for pre-order, and I'm like, what? So the one time that actually happens is like one of the few times I didn't buy the game. That just sucks. Like I didn't buy it from GameStop or whatever gave the code. And also, sometimes they announce that crap like afterwards. So it's like, oh, yeah, if you pre-order it here, you get this, and it's like, oh, but I already have the collector's one that's sold out everywhere, pre-ordered elsewhere. Well, cool, I'm screwed. Thanks, company.
Yeah. But
the only real, I wanted to touch on this real quick. The only exclusive thing that I don't like is when it's based off the country, if that makes sense. Like I usually get annoyed when like a Japanese I understand why they do it, but I don't like it when a Japanese developer is like, oh well, we're gonna make this exclusive to this system because it sells better in Japan. Like that's great. Yeah, I want you to bring it out here, but you also have to think about it's a world market. You kind of should take some of that into account.
I can kind of agree with that. Although I would say on the flip side that depending on the game, like if it's one like Sega did with Japan, if it doesn't sell much on the Xbox or PS4, they're kind of wasting their money putting it on there.
Yeah, but usually I don't think it's that much extra effort. I mean, I can understand for packaging and stuff, but I think that's what the good part of digital only. A lot of times it's not that much extra to make sure it runs on the other system. Usually it's a lot of the cost is packaging and sitting on retail space and stuff, and that's why I think I'm okay with some digital only. If it's like nothing or digital only, I'll take digital only.
Like Dynasty Gundam, I believe that's what they did.
Yeah.
Isn't it in the US they put it on digital only?
Yeah. Even though those games sell. Of course not Japan level, but I mean, that's like any of the Warriors games are like their Call of Duty pretty much.
Yeah.
You could just say hashtag first world problems.
Yeah. But no, it's true. I can understand Richter not liking that. Like, I get annoyed when Europe always gets screwed over stuff like that. Ironically, we get screwed over that more in America.
Yeah.
Because
it's funny because I would say you do, but also sometimes you just get physical releases of stuff we don't. But overall, yes, you definitely get more screwed than we do.
Sometimes we get lucky, but then like we'll have situations like you guys won't get the Japanese game and we won't. But then at the same time, then suddenly they'll make Mario Baseball on Wii, for example, in America. Never came to UK because, quote, no one wants a baseball game in the UK.
What's baseball? They don't play that there.
And I was like, I don't really like baseball, but it's fucking Mario. Yeah. That's why when I had my Wii where I could import games, like I did with the Ghostbusters one, I imported it and I loved the crap out of it. So I'm like, I'm not buying Mario Sports to be a sports, what do you call it, simulator. I'm buying it to be a sports fun game. Like Mario Golf. It's not exactly Tiger Woods. But yeah, like I said, there's pros and there's cons, but I think we'll wrap it up here. Leave your thoughts and opinions below on what you think about the exclusive stuff. Whether or not what you think of the games we played this week, what you think about our news, if there's any news you felt we should have mentioned. So yeah. I was joined by Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Hey!
Richter, the stay-at-home dad, gamer Hammer.
Or thank you. Sorry, I hit mute.
I
It hit mute to unmute, and it didn't unmute.
I was an inch away from cricket. I don't know.
Yeah, I almost gymmed it.
You did. No, if you gymmed it, you'd come back and just say what we said 10 minutes ago. Say, sorry, you mentioned Mario. I'm not interested.
Vita. Boom.
Yeah, Vita.
Turns
Boom.
off.
But I was your host for this one, Chriz Aka The Mole. Richter Hammer will be hosting next week, so take care and see ya.